Welcome, everyone, to the Savvy Sales Lady Live. I'm Christine Harrington, your host. We are talking mindset tonight. And why are you chasing leads? Here's all of the information I'm going to give you about how I win sales through mindset. This goes all the way back 15 years when I was trying to change patterns of behaviors that I was doing and sabotaging my sales. So I really studied mindset and was able to change my mindset in order to just skyrocket sales. So we're going to get into it right now. Let me pull up my notes. And we're going to go through these bullet points. 60,000 plus thoughts a day. 90% are negative. 85% are habitual. Habitual thoughts turn into a mood, and habitual moods becomes your personality. We're going to go through every one of these steps plus more. So this is going to be very comprehensive. So I suggest you get a notebook and pen because I've got a lot of statistics for you. Okay, let's dive in. On average, humans have about 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts per day. Think about that. A lot of them are conscious and a lot of them are subconscious. And this is according to estimates from psychologists and neuroscientists that are referenced in studies from the National Science Foundation. Now, think about that. That's roughly 2,500 to 3,300 thoughts per hour if you're awake for, anywhere from 16 to 18 hours of awake time. Think about that. 2,500 to 3,300 thoughts per hour. And here's an even worse statistic. About 90% of those thoughts are negative and they're repetitive, which means that they run on mental loops. Have you ever gotten yourself stuck thinking about something over and over and over again? That's what I mean by a mental loop. This repetition is where the habitual thoughts can get tricky because both positive and negative thoughts can be habitual. But unfortunately, 90% of our thoughts are negative. Now, from a mindset angle, think Carol DeWitt. She's the one that did all this research on fixed mindsets versus growth mindsets. And how we frame your thoughts matters. So we're talking basically only about thoughts today, thoughts that are running through your mind. And like I have often said, like the wild, wild west, because you're not controlling them. So habitual thoughts don't just pop up randomly. They're actually shaped by attention and reinforcement. Remember, like I said earlier, if you have that one thought, let's say that you had an argument and you just kept replaying it over and over and over in your head, that's shaping attention for just that thought, which keeps you in this emotional negative state. So neuroplasticity, I have a hard time saying that word, neuroplasticity backs this up. I often have to drink water during these things. So, neuroplasticity backs this up. The brain strengthens neural pathways we use often. A 2010 study in Nature Review Neuroscience showed that repeated mental activity like dwelling on optimism or dwelling on negativity can physically alter brain structure over time. Think of it as mental weightlifting. Think about that. Your brain is not discriminatory between positive and negative. The more times during the day that you think negatively, the more those neural pathways strengthen to always start to think negative. Now, you can turn that around by forcing yourself and being self aware that you're thinking negative thoughts and then reframing it to a positive thought. All right. Here's why this is important. There is actual research that shows thoughts to mood. All right. Research suggests about 70 to 80% of our emotional state ties back to thought patterns. Now, this is per cognitive behavioral therapy principles. If you're habitually thinking, I'm not good enough, your brain's amiga, I can never say this word. Let me think about it. Amygdala? No, I can never say that word. Um, amygdala. Oh my, the emotional hub and your prefrontal cortex, which is the decision-making headquarters of your brain, start wiring a feedback loop. A 2017 study in emotion found that people who ruminate on negative thoughts, worry, anxiety, those thoughts, right? Those negative thoughts, it reports lower mood stability. So you're shifting from fleeting feelings to a sustained vibe. So if you are always in rumination, worry, every morning when you get up, that worry overcomes you and you start worrying again. And then that becomes your sustained vibe. And believe me, prospects can smell this all over salespeople when they have high anxiety and worry about landing deals. So once that becomes a mood, that's your vibe. You're always a worrywart. Has people told you that? You're just a worrywart. That has become your mood. Then it shifts to personality. But personalities just isn't moods. But moods over time can nudge traits. They nudge it. The big 5 personality moods are openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. And all of these can shift slightly with habit, positively or negatively. A 2021 study in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology tracked 1,200 adults over 10 years and found that consistent emotional states like a negative mood baseline correlated with higher neuroses scores later on. It's not set in stone, but moods can calcify into tendencies. For example, if your default mood is anxious, like I said earlier, from anxious thoughts, you might lean more towards being a neurotic and have a neurotic trait. Habitual thoughts, say 50 to 60% of the daily 60,000 thoughts that you have, set an emotional tone. And if that tone sticks, like a playlist on repeat, you've repeated that, you're playing that song over and over again, you're replaying those thoughts over and over again, it can shape how you show up in the world, your personality, which is your personality. But it's not a one-way street. Personality also filters which thoughts you entertain. Someone high in openness might dwell on creative ideas, feeding a curious mood. I've always said you got to be curious if you're in sales. While a high neurotic person might loop over and over on worry. You wake up in the morning, as I said earlier, you go right into worry. Okay, let's tie this mindset. Let me say it this way. Let's tie this mindset, thoughts, mood, personality framework directly to selling and chasing a lead. It's a perfect real world playground for seeing how this plays out. In sales, your mental game is everything. And those 60,000 daily thoughts can either be your rocket fuel or your roadblock. And here's how it's going to connect. We're going to go over thoughts and selling, mood as the sales vibe, personality as the closer, chasing the lead, the cycle in action, problem with chasing, and the case for helping, rewiring the cycle, and the payoff. We're going to go through all of that right after this. If you like the Savvy Sales Lady Live, you're really going to like the Savvy Sales Lady newsletter. It's delivered in your inbox once a week. Why don't you go ahead and subscribe? The link is in the show notes below so you won't miss this upcoming newsletter. I give you one tip to focus on each week to implement immediately into your sales day. Why not sign up and learn just a little bit more? Okay, yeah, why not sign up and learn a little bit more? The link is in the show notes below. All right, so when you're chasing a lead, your habitual thoughts dictate your approach. And I want you to be aware of this tomorrow when you're going about your day. Say you're making cold calls or following up on a prospect. If your inner loop is they're going to say no, or I'm bothering them, that's part of the 90% repetitive thought pattern. And I mentioned this before. Sales stats back this up. A 2022 HubSpot report found that 42% of salespeople say their biggest challenge is overcoming self-doubt or rejection fears. Those thoughts aren't random. They're habits built from past no's or assumptions about the lead's own mindset. We all make assumptions about the lead or the prospect that we don't even know is true. So flip it to a positive. If your habitual thought is every call's a chance to solve their problem, you're wiring optimism into your brain. So if you think instead, hey, every call's a chance to solve their problems, I'm getting on the phone, you're wiring your optimism into your brain. Neuroscience says it strengthens pathways in the prefrontal cortex, boosting what? Resilience. A 2019 Harvard Business Review study on sales performance showed that reps with a growth mindset, which is nothing more than believing skills can be improved, close 20% more deals than those stuck in a fixed mindset loop. Like, oh, I'm just not a closer. So let's go to moods, the mood as a sales vibe. Those thoughts snowball into your mood. The emotional fuel for chasing leads. The negative thought loop. This leads a waste of my time. Can sour your mood into frustration or apathy. Ever notice how a string of rejections make you less enthusiastic to make the next call? A 2020 Salesforce survey found that 79% of buyers say a salesperson's energy impacts their decision. If your mood is off, the lead feels it. If your tone and pacing shifts just a little, they feel it. They hear it. One bad day of mood bleed can tank a deal. And I bet you can think of instances that this is true in your own sales life. But if your thought habit is consistently, I'm curious about their needs, your mood shifts to confidence or excitement. That's contagious too. A 2018 Journal of Marketing study showed that prospects are 30% more likely to engage with reps who sound genuinely engaged versus robotic or defeated. Your mood becomes your pitch's vibe. All right, let's move to personality as the closer. Over time, this mood crystallizes into your sales personality. How leads perceive you and how they see yourself. How the lead precedes you and how you see yourself as a seller. If you've let rejection and thoughts fester into a pessimistic mood, you might become a timid rep who hesitates to follow up. Can you relate to that? Data from gong.io in 2021 shows that top performers follow up 6 times on average, while underperformers stop at 2. And it's often because their personality skews risk averse from that mood buildup. Now, contrast that with the rep whose thought habit is every lead's a puzzle to crack. Their mood stays proactive, and over months, their personality becomes bold, persistent, and maybe even charismatic. A 2023 LinkedIn sales report found that 91% of top sellers self-identify as adaptable, a trait forged from thought patterns that embrace challenges over dodging them. All right, let's move to chasing the lead, the cycle in action. So picture this. You've got a lukewarm lead. Day one, your thought is, well, they're not serious. Your mood dips. You send a half-hearted email. Day three, same thought. Now you're annoyed and your personality starts leaning disengage. You drop the lead. So what's your conversion odds? Well, they're slim if you just drop the lead. Now rewind. We're going into this with a new mindset. Day one, your thought is, what's their pain point? Your mood is curious. You dig into your social media posts or web presence and craft a sharp message. I have done this so many times. Day three, your thoughts are, they're warming up. Your mood is now energized. Your personality shines as solution driven. Gong.io says personalized follow ups boost reply rates by 26%. That's the cycle working for you. Now, in selling, habitual thoughts, which are 50 to 60% of your daily mental chatter about leads, shape your mood and your sales energy. That mood over weeks or months molds your personality as a closer. Top reps don't just chase leads, they chase the right thoughts. Let me say that again. Top reps don't just chase leads, they chase the right thoughts. And if you chase the right thoughts, you're no longer chasing the lead, but committed to helping the lead. See the difference in the mindset? A 2022 Pipe Drive study pegged mindset as the number one differentiator between average and elite salespeople. The skills were secondary. So when you're after that next lead, what's your go-to thought? Oh, they're a long shot. Or, hey, I've got this. It's the spark that lights the whole chain. Let's make the case for flipping the script from chasing a lead to helping a lead. Now, a mindset shift that requires, let me say that again, a mindset shift that rewires thoughts, moods, and personality in sales, frankly, delivers much better results. The chase vibe can feel like a hunter stalking prey. Urgent, pushy, maybe desperate. Helping the prospect reframes it as a guide assisting someone lost in the woods. Calm, valuable, magnetic. Here's how this plays out. Backed by data and thought to personality framework we've been exploring. So let's get into the problem with chasing. When you're chasing a lead, your habitual thoughts lean predatory. I need to catch them. They're slipping away. Got to close this. That's part of the 90% repetitive thought loop. 60,000 daily thoughts skewed towards what? Pressure. A 2021 Salesforce State of Sales report found 68% of reps feel pipeline stress, which tracks with this mindset, right? Your mood sours fast. Frustration or anxiety creeps in after a no-show call or an unanswered email. Over time, your sales personality morphs into the pusher, aggressive, or worse, needy. Gong.io data 2022 shows pushy reps get 15% fewer responses than those who ease off the throttle. Leads smell desperation, as I said earlier. It's a turnoff. So conversion rates reflect this. The average close rate across industries hovers at 20%, but reps stuck in chase mode often dip below 10 to 12% because they're sprinting past the lead's actual needs. It's a thought trap. If I don't get them now, I'll lose them. That's not selling, it's scrambling. All right, the case for helping. Now pivot to helping a lead. Your habitual thought shifts to, how can I solve their problem? Or what do they need right now? This isn't fluffy, it's strategic. A 2019 Harvard Business Review study found that 87% of buyers prefer reps who act as trusted advisors over product pushers. That's the helping mindset in action that we should all be using. Your brain's reward system, dopamine hits from problem solving, kicks in, according to a 2016 Nature Neuroscience paper, making your mood steady, confident, not frantic. Over weeks, this builds a personality of the consultant, credible, approachable, someone who leads want to talk to, someone prospects want to talk to. The stats bear this out. A 2023 LinkedIn sales survey showed that reps who focused on customer-centric selling, which means helping, have a 25% higher win rate than those in pure pursuit mode. Why? Because helping aligns with how people buy. How many times have I told you? Your goal is to align with the buyer. 74% of buyers choose the rep who first adds value per Forrester in 2022. Your thought loop, I'm here to help, turns into a mood of curiosity and patience, which shapes a personality that pulls leads in naturally. So how do we rewire the cycle? So let's run through a scenario. The chase mode is you got a lead who's gone quiet. You're getting ghosted. Your thought is they're dodging me. Here's another lead that's dodging me. Your mood is irritated. So what's your action? You fire off a just checking in email. Generic and needy. The personality vibe the lead feels is clingy. The outcome? Well, research shows, according to Gong.io, says 70% of check-in emails get ignored. Think about that. Check-in emails, 70% get ignored. Now, what's help mode? How can you do the same thing, but now your mindset is in the help mode? Same lead, different thought. Maybe they're stuck. How can I help to unblock them? Your mood is proactive. Your action is you dig into their social media post or website, spot a pain point, and send an email saying, saw your team scaling fast. Here's how we've helped others manage that. I have done something similar many times. Your personality vibe is resourceful. Your outcome? A 2020 outreach study found value-driven follow-up boosts reply rates by 32%. The shift takes about 21 to 66 days to become a habit, according to Psychological Science stat from 2015. But even one call with a help mindset can spark a mood lift. Now, I want to talk about this 21 to 66 days. We were all told that a habit takes 21 days to form. It may with some people, but most people, it may take 66 days or more. So you have to be constantly aware of your thoughts and the mindset you want to choose. Do you want to chase? Does that thought mean you're going to chase? Or did that thought that popped in your mind mean you're helping? Pay attention to your thoughts. A single win, let's just say a lead saying, that's exactly what I needed, reinforces the loop. So I have gotten many times emails or comments on my YouTube videos or posts from people that say to me, oh, that really helped me, Christine. That really helped me. That's why I give away so much of my content for free, because I do want to help you. I am in that helping mindset. So what's the payoff when you flip it from a chase mindset to a helping mindset? Well, helping flips the power dynamic, right? Chasing screams, I need you to buy. Desperate. Helping says, you need what I got. I can help you. A 2022 Pipe Drive report pegged top performers as 40% more likely to frame sales as solving over closing. If you solve their problem, the natural next step is for them to buy. Your close rate climbs maybe from 20% to 30% or higher, because leads don't feel hunted. They feel understood. Plus, your personality as the helper now becomes your brand. Referrals jump. 83% of satisfied buyers share recommendations when they feel helped, per Nielsen in 2021. Think about that. 83% will give a recommendation when they feel helped. So ditch the chase. Start thinking, this lead's got a gap. I'm the bridge. Hooray. Your mood stays level, your personality turns magnetic, and your results spike. It's just not nicer, it's smarter. Now, I want you to test all of this on a real lead this week. And then I want you to tell me how it all went. But for the next week, pay attention to your thoughts. All of those 60,000 thoughts that are streaming through your head a day, many of them are unconscious, but the ones that you are aware of, think about, are they positive or negative? If they're negative, how can you reframe it to positive? If you're selling, how can you reframe it from chasing to helping? I hope this helps you. And I am so happy that I've been able to bring this to you tonight. I know it's a lot of information that I've thrown at you, a lot of statistics, but I also think statistics help put things in perspective. That's why I'm always trying to give statistics about what's going on in the sales world. So if you'll hold on for just one more minute, I have something special for you. I'm like you, a regular salesperson who bumped up against trying to cold call and failed, trying to close deals and failed, getting all tongue-tied when asking for the sale. Major fail. I've been in sales for 4 decades and I've failed a lot. Think about this. I've had 40 years of rejection hitting me in the face. But in spite of all the rejection, I built 3 $30 million books of business over a 40-year time span. Not one, but 3. How did I do this? I cracked the code for cold calling. Over the past 11 years, I have coached and trained hundreds of salespeople just like you on my cold calling system. But hey, why should you listen to me? Here's why.
Hi, this is Olivia Mitchell with Crouching Tigers. I hired Christine to cold call for my company, and she was able to sell 26 accounts in 9 days. I actually had to ask her to put the brakes on it as we needed to hire more staff. You will definitely benefit from Christine's course.
And there are many more testimonials. Drop the word coach in the comments below and I'll send you a link to schedule a free coaching session. And I'll share a few of my cold calling techniques that you can use immediately. Cold calling doesn't need to feel embarrassing. I can give you the words to use, plus the technique and the system, so you'll feel and sound like a professional. Why not learn a few powerful but simple tips to help you close sales? Type coach in the comment section below and I'll reply with the link so you can book a time that's best for you to schedule your 30-minute free coaching session. That's all you need to do to begin winning again. Stay savvy.